Hello, hello. Welcome to today's episode. Yes, you can probably hear it in my voice. I am filled with celebration that is oozing out of the sides of my coffee cup today. I'm celebrating with you. I'm bringing you to my table. I am inviting you to join this coffee conversation today. Yes, I have been having we'll call it an epiphany. I like to call these things Tiffany's epiphanies. And since I last did my last podcast, and I'm here to bring you something that you are going to want to bookmark. You're going to want to come back to this particular podcast again and again, because today, everything I've been doing up until today with my podcast, how I operate, how I show up, has been building upon what I am about to bring to you today. It is going to reawaken, reignite. It's going to bring back your passion, bring back your focus, but it's going to remind you in the best way possible who the heck you are, what you're here to do. It's going to be the fuel that keeps you going. Now, inside my paid space that I am creating for you, it's called the Reclamation Movement. It is something super powerful. I did tell you the last several podcasts, I am creating a movement. Yes, I am. Now, here's the cool thing. That is where you get direct access to me. So let's say you listen to my podcast, which I encourage you to do anyway. And if you want to ask me questions and pick my brain, you get to do that in the paid space, but not outside of the paid space. You don't get to pick my brain, right? So that's where the value gets enhanced. Your confidence increases. You remember who you are. You come back home to yourself. You start remembering what you're made of. You start remembering how you want your day and your life to go. You start remembering your vision. You start remembering your favorite color. You start remembering your favorite candy bar. You start remembering where you left yourself, the things that you've been doing to burn yourself out, and you trade that, and you no longer operate in that fashion. Because now finding you again means you're not going to be trading your soul for a paycheck. You're not going to be trading your joy for chaos and inner turmoil and upset and upheaval. No, you're going to be renewed, restored, and accepted. That is a theme. You get your confidence back. Your joy returns. You become a powerful badass that you forgot along the way. Because let's face it, along our lives, there are certain experiences and people that have come along and have made it to where we believe that we can't do the thing that we are here on this earth to do. And it happened to me, so I know that it happens to a lot of other people. I know that I was not here. You and I were not put on this earth to allow experiences to rob us of living the life that we want, of living a life that suits us, not what other people have told us that we're suited for. That's as if we are going to a place to try on clothes and people keep handing us the wrong outfits. They keep handing us boxes. They keep handing us clothes that are too small. Eventually, we get tired of the boxes. We get tired of being I don't know what happened, but my podcast stopped. So this is the second part to that. My stocks alarm cut me off, and I don't know what happened, but it stopped my podcast. So this is part two, the continuance of what I was sharing. Has that ever happened to you? You are doing something fantastic, and then all of a sudden you have to start over, start from scratch. What do? Do you give up? Do you walk away? I could have walked away, but I've got a message, and I have a short time frame today because I've got to go get ready for work, but this message can't wait. It can't wait till tomorrow, because if I put it off till tomorrow, it means that someone out there is not going to get the fuel that they need to awaken themselves to get going. To look in the mirror and say, oh man, what have we been doing? Who are you? Who am I? I did a masterclass a few years ago, and it was about a mirror, a broken mirror, and it's the fragmented way we see ourselves. And I kind of forget the title, but I was looking back at my photos that I have done over the last 6 years, and I'm like, wow, the messaging is the same. It's about identity, finding our voice, standing in our truth, accepting ourselves. And I finally realized, Tiffany, your messaging, you have been getting prepared behind the scenes to be launched. I have been in preparation mode. And over the last 6 years, God has brought the very things I've needed to move the needle forward in my life because I've said yes. I didn't say no. I said, God, if I can't use my voice for you, then I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to do nothing. If I can't use my voice to bring in the millions of people that's out there that have lost themselves, that they are looking to find themselves again, so that their energy stays top notch, so they keep going, so that their confidence stays top notch, so that when they look at themselves in the mirror, they accept who they are and they stop trying to be someone and something they're not in spaces that have caused them to play small. You know, how do you explain a woman who grew up in foster care, who was born to parents who chose alcohol, who couldn't get their lives together, who I believe tried to get their lives together, but there was a lot of missing components that I did not get to experience. Other people got to experience a different side of my birth mom, which is great. However, for me, that experience wasn't as great as I wanted. And even with my birth mom, I did not feel wanted. I did not feel loved, and I did not feel cherished for who I was. There was a constant verbal abuse. There was constant blame for her choices. I couldn't ever get answers to my past. So I have question marks. And the questions I did ask were met with, let's just say, verbal harm. And also, the questions that I asked my almost adoptive mom left me filled with complete anger because components of how they treated us in their home was far less than what any child should ever have to go through. So I was, and yesterday, July 21st, is my birth mom's birthday. So I was left feeling sad because she passed away about a year and a half ago. And and I was left with the grief of, it wasn't grief that she's gone, it's grief of what I didn't have, grief of what I didn't know, grief of what I do know and didn't get to experience. It was the grief of not knowing the mom that could have done things a lot differently, but chose to kept going in the same direction. And, you know, could she have gotten the healing that she really needed? Yes. People have the choices to reach for healing. There's no excuses and no reasons that nobody can go get the therapy that they need, can go do the hard work, get in environments that you have support, find, your confidants, your circle. Healing isn't for a select few. By the way, every foster kid, every person who has been through a horrific, traumatic event in their life has a decision. They have a choice. You have a choice. You can sit in the pit and allow your circumstances and experiences to rob you of a life that you deserve to live and that you want to live. Or you can say, I refuse to be a part of the statistics and odds that have been placed on me. And foster care statistics are this. This is what was waiting for me, and this is what is waiting for every kid who graduates the foster care system. They could be homeless, addicted to drugs and alcohol, suicidal, dead, psychological issues, trafficked. That is what is waiting for a very large percentage of foster kids. Thankfully, there are certain foster parents who do step up to the plate and help foster kids transition. I was grateful that I got that, even though living in their home was not a pleasant experience for me, because these foster parents uh, forced me to do things in their home in order to live there that I was like, well, if this is what it means to be an adult, screw this, right? Given ultimatums, one of the ultimatums I was given when I lived in a foster home after I graduated high school, I lived with this woman. She was from New Orleans. She gave me an ultimatum because I found out I was pregnant with my husband. And she gave me the ultimatum. You can move out or you can have an abortion and stay here. I chose to move out because I was like, that is not up for option for me. I don't care. I'm not going to harm my children just because that's what you're telling me to do. Absolutely hell no. So I moved out. I moved back in with my birth mom and my stepdad for a few months. I'm grateful that I had places to stay when I got out of foster care. But then I moved in with my husband in, it was October of 98. I think I just aged myself. Okay. Our daughter was born in January of 99, and the rest is history. So foster kids don't always get to choose for themselves. They're forced to go along with a lot of what foster parents want them to do. And over the course of my life, I was forced to make choices based on what other people wanted. And so taking that into my adult years, I didn't know that I had choices. Uh, In fact, 3 years ago, I met this amazing mentor friend. He's the CEO and founder of the Vision Espresso. And I talk about that a lot because without a vision, without knowing what I wanted, I was a person that was floating around on earth with no point in my life that I could see of where I really truly wanted to go. I knew what I wanted, and I've been doing everything I can do that I knew to do to get what I wanted. But let me tell you something, when we don't know what we want, when we don't know who the hell we are, we will allow people, including our careers, churches, friends, family. We will allow social media, all that stuff to dictate to us who we are. And when we don't know what we want, by the way, we suffer. We sacrifice ourselves. What for? We sell our soul for a paycheck. I didn't know what I wanted. So when I was asked the question, Tiffany, what do you want? In June of 2023, I got so angry, not at the person asking me, but because I didn't know. But it's not that I didn't know. My soul knew. And you want to know why I didn't know? It's because in foster care, I was never given the choice. I was told foster kids don't get to dream. Foster kids don't get to have a vision. Well, yeah, you want that? No. Once a foster kid, always a foster kid. You don't get to have what you want. You get to do it this way. You get to do it my way. You get to do it our way. Well, there was a whole lot of fuck you in there as I grew up in my life. The last foster home that they were abusive also. A home that I moved into that I think I was 16 or 17. I graduated high school. These people, let's just say the day after I graduated, I was forced to move out with boxes and trash bags. At the age of 18, had to move in with another person that wouldn't give me a key to her front door. I was paying rent to live in a room. The people that helped out at our house were eating my food that I bought, and she wouldn't give me a key to her front door. Gave me a key to the screen door. And I was like, this is bullshit, right? 18, like, I'm capable of being an adult, you know? I had to learn how to be an adult, but I learned how to be an adult in foster care as I was growing up. So it forced me to grow up faster. But I wasn't ever given a chance to go after what I wanted. I was told I don't get to have what I want. So when I was asked the question, Tiffany, what do you want? I couldn't answer that because I didn't believe it was okay. I didn't believe I had the permission to have what I wanted. There was something in me that just got mad, and I'm like, why am I mad? And it turns out it's because, Tiffany, you were never given permission to do what the hell you wanted. You were never given permission to find out who you are. You were always told who to be, how to be, who you are. And the labels they slapped on you told you that you are the opposite of who you truly are. Learning disabled. I am freaking smart as hell, okay? I am capable. I am confident. Did I believe it? No. This chick trades stocks. Hello? Stock trading? I used to believe I was incapable and stupid. Now, some of you who want to come to my rescue and tell me and try to soothe that part of my story, don't. It's part of my story. I didn't say I am that way. I believed that. But over the course of the last 6 years, I've gotten the healing that I needed. The healing. Because I can't continue living my life not knowing who the hell I am. And by the way, when we don't know who we are, we take at face value what we are told we are, who we are told we are. We allow environments to change us. We allow our jobs to change us. We allow people. We get in the environment of friends, and we have a circle of people that we have no business being in the circle with. We go to tables that they serve us poison, that when we get up, we're the topic. I tell you this because I've done it. I've lived it. I've been it. Because I didn't know who the hell I was. I didn't know who the hell I am. But I am going to tell you what and who the hell I am today. And here is what I am not. I am not a mom. I am a mom, right? I'm not just a career woman who has been in the medical career field for over 3 freaking decades. That's what I do. That's not my value system. Those are like tasks. Those are labels. The I am followed by the words that follow I am lead us in a direction. They create our world. Our words create our world. So if we are saying, well, I am just a mom. Okay. Yeah. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What are your hopes? It's not just to be a mom. Do you want to build a legacy? Are you a no-nonsense speaking person who doesn't take shit from people? Are you a truth teller? What are you? Who are you? Identity. identity plays a role in how we see ourselves, plays a role in the decisions we make, plays a role in how we wake up every day. It plays a role in the routines that we do, plays a role in the jobs we get, plays a role in the spouses we marry, plays a role in the friends that we keep company with, plays a role in the conversations we have with people, our identity. And I'm telling you who I am. I am a voice in the ears of people who desire reclamation, who desire to come back to themselves, to have the energy. Some of the questions I get asked from people are, Tiffany, how do I get more energy? True story. Tiffany, does exhaustion kill you? What? Like, huh? It's not that people are asking how to get energy and to do a quick fix, which that's what a lot of the large percentage of the world does. Quick fix, get a soda, do more coffee, get more espresso, kill your kidneys, do all the stuff. But really what people are asking is, how do I get the audacity to set boundaries to say no so that my energy stays top notch so I can keep going? How do I, um, how do I say no to more that's burning me out and taking me down a path I don't want to go so I can say yes to what lights me up? How do I set boundaries with my boss? That's what they're asking. How do I? it's it's the how do I return back to myself so that my energy stays top notch so that I can keep going? That's what they're asking. How do I find me again? And I'll tell you how. You start by celebrating the very breath. If you're listening to this, you start by celebrating. Celebrate that you can hear me. Celebrate that you have a voice. Celebrate that you have breath. That is worth a celebration. Why? Because you are meant on this earth to do amazing things. I don't care what you've been through. What you have been handed doesn't mean that you have to stay there. It does not mean that you have to sit in a freaking pit. How is it that I have two biological sisters? How do you explain that you have three people that came from the same DNA, the same mom, the same birth parents? How do you explain the difference of all three of us? I don't know. I guess I made a pact with myself growing up that I would not ever return back to where I came from. It was horrible. I am a voice in the ears of people who want reclamation. I am a voice who instills vision. I am a visionary. I show you how to find you again. I give you a map that puts you back on the journey back to who the hell you are. What do you want for your life? How do you want your day to go every day? What's your vision? And you first. Secondly, I am a certified celebrating officer. That means we celebrate till the cows come home. It is attached to your identity. There are people who have told me, I've done my market research. Well, Tiffany, I can't celebrate, but I can bring gratitude. It's the same dang thing. It's just a different word. It puts it into a different perspective because then your worth gets ignited when you celebrate who the hell you are, when you celebrate all the things you do every day, when you celebrate the awarenesses you have and the hard stuff you've come out of. I'm telling you, it changes your mindset, changes what you believe about yourself and what you believe about your circumstances. I am a truth teller. I speak the things that people are not willing to say. I do it all the time, and I used to apologize for it, but no more. I am no longer apologetic. I am unapologetic. And I do not walk by shame or guilt. I am smart. I am powerful. So that's who I am. And it oozes over into every area of my life. I, I, I speak. This is also a dream and a vision. By the way, when you say yes, God puts you on a journey where who you are becomes known, who you are becomes loud. And He will bring to you every person and resource assigned to you in your journey. You have to be willing to step up and say, here I am. He does also have a sense of humor. Because when I told him, if I can't use and I told him this several times, I even asked him to take away this speaking voice that I have. I've asked him to take away my gift, and he doesn't. His gift is irrevocable. And it's like, I couldn't, like, he couldn't take it away from us even if he wanted to. But I'm telling you, he probably could. I mean, he's God. He's got the power to do anything, right? Too many people walking around not knowing who the hell they are, and they're miserable. People that, like, everywhere I go, I have conversations with people. And people ask me how, but they don't ask me the words, Tiffany, how do I get back to myself? No, it starts small. Gosh, how do you show up every single day here with that type of energy? I get asked questions all the time. Like, how do you do X, Y, Z? And because I do it so naturally, like breathing, sometimes I have had a hard time putting into words exactly what I do. I'm not here to just take up air and just breathe and walk around like a pile of dead bones in the valley of dry bones. No, I'm here to make waves. I'm here to make moves. I'm here to bring people home to themselves and ditch the lifestyle of self-abandonment because it is robbing people of their energy. Does exhaustion, actually, that question that I asked, that was actually asked of me within the last 3 weeks, actually last couple of weeks, is exhaustion deadly? Yes. Not having a vision where you perish. Yes, exhaustion can cost you. There's underlying factors of exhaustion, hormones, not focusing on sleep, being in the wrong environments, not setting boundaries, all kinds of stuff. But it all points back to, who are you? What's your identity? How do you see yourself? I'm going to start closing with this. I was not put on this planet to be a person that doesn't speak boldly. I've been bold my whole life. I used to get in trouble my whole life because I didn't understand the gift that God had on my life. People also misunderstood it. And believe you me, I have been abused for it. I have. I have been mistreated, mishandled, abused. People have gone out of their way to try to sabotage my life. I have had a target on my back. I almost died as an infant because I used to get ear infections, really bad, high fevers. Thank God I'm still here. I'm going to say something to you that might shock you. I am not any more special than you who's listening. I am not some, fancy, I'm not like, I don't sit in my castle, right? Um, am I a royalty? Yes. I'm in God's royal kingdom, right? Am I a queen? Absolutely. I've got a theme that I have going. It's called From Foster Care to the Palace. Because you can't, like, I don't know how to explain to people how the hell a girl who was thrown in the foster care system, went through horrific, traumatic crap, came out sounding like this. I don't know how it happened, but thank God I'm alive. Have people tried to take me out off the face of the planet. When I was they put me in 2 group homes because they said I was troubled. When I was there, girls that were in there, they didn't provide ways for people to get healing. Let's just say these girls they needed a swift ass kicking. Okay, from God. Let's just put it that way. A swift ass kicking. But these girls they made my stay there full of fear, um full of angst. I couldn't rest. They would do unimaginable things that costed me my peace. And I, they tried to take me off the face of this planet. This one girl did, and then other people, gossiped about it. It just was a horrific, horrible experience, but I wasn't taken off the face of the planet. I'm still here. I'm still here. In the description of this show, I'm going to put my email. That is where you can send me a testimonial. In the testimonial, let me know, number one, that I have your permission to share the testimonial because these are public testimonials and I'll be sharing on how the show that you're listening to is helping you. Plus, it also you can also send me an email to let me know how I can serve you. Your testimonial is feedback, by the way, on the show. Okay? But your testimonial, it's a way of celebrating. It's a way of letting me know that you're listening, but it's like you're implementing one thing. My show, here's what sets it apart. You implement what you hear. I'm not here to bring you strategy and information. We are in a world of information overload. I'm not here for that. That's not what this podcast is. This reclamation movement station, right? I'm also going to put the link to the Vision Espresso quiz for you to get started on your own journey. I'm telling you, it is the most powerful thing you will ever do for your life because you owe it to yourself to get out of the pit, to stay out of the pit, to know who the hell you are, to come back home to you. And it starts by having a vision because then you find who you are. And then lastly, pay attention to this because when I announce it's called the Reclamation Movement, when it goes live and when it's ready when it's open, there's going to be 20 spots available at the current price it's going to be. And you're going to want to snatch that up because that's the lowest it will be ever. And yeah, so stay tuned though, because it is coming. I have been in launch mode, but now I can't hide anymore because I know people are telling me, yes, Tiffany, people will respond to that. I've been doing my research. I've been doing the work. I can't hide in a cave anymore, right? So thank you so much for choosing yourself to listen to this today. I'm going to ask you to share this with a friend, share it with family. Also find one thing to implement. If you do nothing else with my podcast, find something to implement in your life so that every day you get to find you again. Yeah. Also, in my email, feel free to drop a celebration. Let me know how I can celebrate you. That's going to be in the description so you can send me your testimonial and the celebration. And that concludes today's episode.